Welcome back to my channel. My name's Lacey and this is Literary Looks. In today's video we're going to be talking about all things about poetry. The poetry books I own, I'm going to be reading some poems I like, and maybe that will tickle your fancy and maybe you'll buy some of these books or read some of these poems or be inspired to write a poem. I write poetry. Um, so here we go. I'm going to start. Some of the books I own are Invisible Strings, 113 Poets Respond to the Songs of Taylor Swift, edited by Christy Frederick Daughtry. And the poem I like from this book, it's called Do Paper Dolls Still Exist? An old woman at the MoMA walks through the corridors, a black dress, pinned to her blouse like those paper dolls with their outfit cutouts. The body and the wardrobe scissored. Right off the page, careful now, with the folding tabs that hold the ensemble in place. You don't want her to come undone, the way you started to unravel that afternoon at this very museum, standing next to the artist who said he would paint you someday. Picture yourself pressed flat on a canvas, each brushstroke a cry for freedom, because you're still trapped in the small box of his affection. And no one's going to cut you loose, because no one knows you never left. Intact doesn't always mean whole. To come unstitched or unpieced won't leave you unloved. You'll regret not tearing away like that. Brave woman, did you're sure of it? How? She smiled in triumph as she swift past your frozen stare. You, future on the wall. She, unbridled flare. I like that poem. It actually reminds me of the song that John Mayer did called Paper Dolls, which was in response to Taylor Swift. But it also reminds me of somebody who's like trapped in a box. Yeah, like that is trapped in this love that they just can't get out of. So, but it's a really good poem and it's by, oh, this is a hard name, Rigoberto Gonzalez. So if you're interested in that poem and the other poems in this book, I would highly recommend picking that up at your local library, at Barnes & Noble, on Amazon, anywhere books are sold. To read is from Mr. Jim Morrison. And I actually wrote a song about him when I was 17. I unfortunately no longer have that song, so I don't remember exactly what I said or what it was entitled, but it's something about he sold his soul for a pretty penny. It was after I watched a movie about the Doors. The Pony Express. The Pony Express carried the mail, over hill, over dell, over rough, rugged trails, and the brave men that carried it didn't complain, for they knew they were helping their good country's name. They rode and rode through strong winds and rain, just to carry the mail and build up our name. Our Indian country and great sandy plains, they carried the mail and shared our great fame. And it was written May 21st, 1954, so a while ago, before he was ever even famous in the 70s. He was a good poet. He was not only a good musician, he was a good songwriter, he was a good poet. So, at least I think so. So if you like Jim Morrison, you like the Doors, you would really like this book. It's a big fat mama. Find You in the Darkness. It's kind of a melancholy book with This poem in particular I don't find very melancholy. It's actually very sweet. It's called Someone's Forever, and it goes, "He wants to marry me and make me his. Trepidation drips from my heart like it's been submerged in an ocean filled with other prospective souls. Sorry about that. And I ask him, why me? Why do you want to marry me? And he says something that roots me to my spot, and I cannot turn away. So he tells me he wants to wake up next to me every morning. He wants me to be his forever, and I have always wanted to be someone's forever." I think that's a beautiful poem. Now, I don't know who it's by because these poems don't state who wrote them, unfortunately. But whoever wrote that did a really good job. And then, last but not least, and it's done by poets.org. That's interesting. And it's entitled, of course, what I always say in my videos, it's about kindness. And it's written by Naomi Shihab Nye. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment, like salt in a weakened broth. But what you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go, so you know how desolate the landscape can be. Between the regions of kindness, how you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop. The passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead by the side of the road. You must see how this could be you. How he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. Not only do I find this poem to be beautiful, but it resonates with me. I find it to be true because in order to be kind, I feel that you have to go through things sometimes. It changes people to be more sympathetic, and in some cases, if you've gone through the same thing, be empathetic. And so I agree with this poem when it says you have to experience sorrow to be kind. So those are all the poems books and poems I wanted to read. I did have another poetry book, but I couldn't find it, so unfortunately I can't share that one. But some of the other people I like are Edgar Allan Poe. I don't have any of his books right now, but I like some of his poems. They're really dark and gothic, different type of style of poetry. I like Dudley Randall. I got into him recently. Who else? Let's see. Wordsworth. I want to get more into his stuff. He wrote like a long time ago, long before the 1900s. But I haven't read anything from him. I have him on my wish list on Amazon, but anyway. So, I got some good news. I got my PET scan back and I am cancer free for now. The cancer hasn't come back, so I'm very happy about that. I've been going to school and doing my homework every day and getting good grades and focusing on that. That's why it's been harder for me to do videos, but I've been trying to work them in despite that. Well, that's the end of the video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. And please, no matter where you are, have a beautiful, lovely day, no matter what time this is, no matter where you are. And also, be kind to one another because it's very important, as the poem says, to put yourself in someone else's shoes. And until I see you next time, bye!